1.110 is about the report accounting report. GL means a general ledger. General ledger is a account refer to all accounts reports in AutoCount. Let me show in PPT first before we go to explain the report one by one. First of all, we do accounting entry is debit credit. That is called journal. After create all this journal entry, we will move forward each transaction to the ledger. Ledger is like statement, is our statement, but this one is statement of each different account. Your bank account, your salary account, your sales account, and so on. So then over the time we know the balance. So before we post to trial balance, we list out all the detail into this ledger report to add or minus, get the balance before we move this balance to the trial balance report. So for journal of transaction actually is the report, not showing only one journal, but all journal for related group. Let's say this is a sales category, all the sales transaction debit credit, okay, into one report. But this journal of transaction report usually apply for firm. They need this report for double checking purpose. For normal business, we need to know what is ledger report is good enough already. And trial balance is the summary of total balance of each account before we posting into our profit and loss and statement and balance sheet statement. So this is the two major financial statement for business. This one I will explain what is profit and loss and balance sheet later. So balance sheet actually, trial balance actually is the summary of all these account before we posting to these two reports. So this summary must be balanced. We double check whether the credit side and the debit side, whether it's balanced or not. So once balanced, then only we post to profit and loss and balance sheet. Of course, you use accounting system. That's why accounting system usually will help you to do all this journal, ledger, trial balance in one shot. So you just need to know what is it about. That's all. Profit and loss is the profit report. You want to see your company make profit or not over a certain period. Usually it's 1 year. Why 1 year? So every 1 year we will prepare our profit and loss report most of the time. So it's because it's for comparison purpose. Let's say I want to compare last year my company performance and this year company performance. Where is the performance? Which year is better? So then we need a same period. You cannot compare last year 3 months and then compare with this year 12 months. This is not fair and this is not compatible. And also sometimes we doing business only 1 year. And another supplier already doing business 20 years. So it's not possible to compare their 20 years profit with your 1 year profit. But if let's say you want to compare your this year account and this year account, then both of you only 12 months. Then I think the profit and loss account is meaningful compared with 1 year compared with 10 years. So that's why 12 months is a standard in the market. So every 12 year we prepare this profit and loss account. Of course, sometimes we may less than 12 months or more than 12 months. For example, if let's say I'm running a business, just start my business on October. So only 2 months account. You don't have much customer yet. So you just prepare the 2 months account, profit and loss is meaningless. That's why we will group this 2 months account into the next 12 months accounts. Altogether got 14 months for the first year. But this is very rare scenario. So most of the time, profit and loss is the 12 month of period. And balance sheet actually is to see our company asset and liability. Or sometimes we call this financial position of the company. Why? Because it's whether our company financial is healthy or not healthy. If your liability is more than your asset, and then we call this business is a loss business. If you got net asset, so your asset is more than your liability, then this company is worth to invest. So you want to check whether this company potentiality. First of all, we see the balance sheet, and then another one we check the few years past historical record of the profit and loss account. So these two reports is the key of a business owner every year. At least you review once per year. So I will show you the detail of these all reports. So the first report system required to show is the ledger report. So all the report related to account is fall under this GL. All the report, okay, is fall under here. So the first report is the ledger report. So ledger report, you change the date to 1st January until the 31st of January, then inquiry. So over here we list out all the detail in and out of each account. Like this CIMB, you see the capital we pump in 100K, and then we pay to the supplier and pay to the purchase of asset. That's why the detail. And 100K minus all this, we'll get the balance 88,500. And you see this ledger here, we can preview, we can print, and then got a lot of formats you can choose. And also all these formats, if you see the amount over here, actually you can double click. The system will drill down to the source of documents. So this is our screen also can double click. So I just want to explain other details. Over here, you see the payment voucher number got repeated over here because this repeated, they break down into different assets. So for auditor, usually they no need to see in such detail. So in that case, I suggest you untick this show transaction and show double entry and press the inquiry button, and before you pass this report to your auditors. This is my advice. So if you don't want to show detail, you just take these two functions. show transaction description and show double entry and inquiry. So you only print out the format that your auditor needs. But for internal use, I not prefer using this ledger one. So for my personal, usually I use this function inquiry, account inquiry, instead of using ledger. Inquiry is for checking purpose. Just now, I want to see the CIMB bank account, so I just type CIMB, so the system will list out the transaction exactly like the 100,000 and then minus the transaction balance is 88,500. And also here also can double click. And also here got show transaction description, also got this show double entry. So you just untick inquiry, the system will group all these portion number into one transaction, 8,005. If you want detail, you double entry or show transaction inquiry on the system, we break down 8,500 into the detailed transaction. So that's why for checking purpose, inquiry is more preferable compared with ledger report. Ledger report usually is printed out for audit purpose, for accounting purpose, for document record purpose. I think that's all for ledger report. So we move forward to the next journal of transaction. This report is to check the debit credit for different group. Let's say I preview, this group is under bank, another group is under cash, another group is under general one, or another one is for sales and so on. This all also can double click and actually is for debit credit purpose. So my advice is this ledger report, journal of transaction, we seldom use all these report and unless we found our account is not balanced. Okay, in such a way, then we will refer which month start you not balanced, and then we see that particular month what transaction is being wrong actually. But I believe AutoCount we seldom has this all problem. But if for checking purpose, all the accounting system, so you can check start from journal because the journal is the first step. Okay. And then second step only we post to ledger. After we post to ledger, only we post to trial balance. After we post to trial balance, only we update the profit and loss and balance sheet. So this is the first sort of document we can refer. So journal entry not very important. So I move forward to the third report, also not very important. This one trial balance report. So this trial balance report also for auditor use. For auditor use, you just preview, we'll summarize the balance of ledger and then move forward here. Example CIMB is 88,500. So from the ledger. So 88,500. So we will put forward to this trial balance. And trial balance also another way we check whether it's balanced or not. You can check month by month. If not balanced, then meaning that particular month's got problems. Okay. So from there we go backward to ledger, go back to the journal of entry function, check more detail. And after this trial balance is balanced, then only we move forward to the next report we call profit and loss report. Profit and loss report to check your 12-month profits. But here you see we don't have a profit and loss report. So it's because of sometimes we use the new accounting terms. So statement of comprehensive income has also profit and loss. But if you don't like these terms, statement of comprehensive income, you go to tools here, and then you go to option. So over here, you take this, use the new financial reporting standard terms. You just untick, and then you apply OK. So now, one more time, you go to GL, you see these terms, you change to profit and loss statement. Okay. A lot of function over here. I want to show you step by step, one by one, all these functions. First of all is the description here. Actually, you can change that. So profit and loss statement from when to when. Actually, you can change that. You can type manually if you don't want to use the formula. System formula is percentage start date and percentage end date. Okay. So if you don't like it, then you can change over here. Okay. So you can change over here. And also during chart of account, I say we can break down into detail and the mother records, the summary one. So like telephone charges, you see, this is the summary one. Detail one supposed to show the telephone numbers. If you want to show the detail one, you change the level from 2 to 3. Then preview again. So here you can see the detail from 2 level to 3 level, or more detail. Okay. So this one very convenient. You want the summary formats or you want to detail formats up to 20 level. And the third function, let me change the date first. The third function I want to explain is regarding this bottom part. You see, actually got 2 pages. Alright, this one is a very short information we can show in the first page. So if you want to group into one page, you untick this appropriation on new pages. So you preview, the system will group into one single page instead of break down into 2. So, and see the date over here. If you don't like to show the date and printing date, this is the printing date and the username. Okay, over here, you want to remove. Of course, this format we cannot customize. Profit and loss, we cannot simply customize later, show you wrong information. That's why we provide more function. Our more function is over here, advanced function option. So advanced option over here, you just untick the date and time and the user ID, these 2. So you apply, you preview again, the system will hide the username and the date. Of course, you will ask me a lot of setting, Mr. Law, just now, a lot of setting, I cannot remember all these settings. So I cannot every time to click here, click that, too inconvenient, this AutoCount system. Sorry to say that actually we got this save function. You see here got save criteria. So actually you can save this profit and loss format one. Let's say you want to change to format one. So every time you refer to format one, you just save this criteria. So next time you load to the profit and loss statement, the system already default everything for you. You just preview it. Very convenient. And change the date, of course, okay, to the correct date you want to show. And the last function I want to show you is actually very powerful function in AutoCount. It's called this comparison format. You see month comparison format. This one very good, especially for management review the account. Management not going to enter the transaction step by step, but management usually they review the account using this format we call month comparison. So management will check the margin every month, see whether the margin is matched or not, or a very big difference. So margin is your sales minus your cost. So your cost not possible to jump high and down, up and down. Okay, usually it's flat one. Or if you suddenly jump, then something wrong already. Maybe some transaction is not captured. And also we can see the not captured one is the March. You see depreciation is not ended yet. So every month, January and February already key in the depreciation. But March is not ended yet, and telephone bill also we already enter for January only. February and March is not ended. So this is the way we review. We review the amount fluctuated, we review the percentage fluctuated for our profit and loss. Of course, you can click inside and then see the detail as well. You can see the transaction detail, see whether it's keying correct or not. But sometimes you key the depreciation for February 2 times, 3 times. So you double click only, you can see the detail. So all these transaction you can double click, and then you can show detail and then check the detail inside. This is the logic behind for profit and loss. Of course, you can save as a second format. So this second format is comparison. Next time you want to show which format also can, you just load criteria. I've got 2 formats over here. So you can load which format you more prefer. So or you can take auto load the last criteria, always load last format you prefer. So I think that's all. Only the rest you can read yourself or test yourself all these functions. I just highlight the most important function just now, and I move forward to the next report. Is called balance sheet report. Still remember the balance sheet report, the one to check the account balance or not. So how to check? You see the numbers here. The net current asset must be equal to this retained earning, the final figure. So this net current asset 106 must be equal to the bottom one. So meaning that this account is balanced. This is called balance sheet. And balance sheet main objective is to check our financial position, meaning that the total asset minus the total liability must be equal to the capital. But this case, we don't have any liability, only got asset. That's why asset here is equal to the profit. And the profit, you see, this capital is 100K. It's the investment for the owner. And the profit of this month, February 6,400. Where we get this 6,400, you go to profit and loss account. So you see, after preview, you see the final figure is 6,410. You brought forward this amount, we call accumulated, call retained earning, we retain over here. And then the value of this business now is increased to 106,410. Okay. So this is a financial account and setting plus or minus. Just now I already explained all the setting, 3 level, same as profit and loss. And advanced report here, you don't want to show the date and user ID. Okay. So you just input then the date and time won't show over here. But one thing I want to highlight here, so most of the time, if you want to see this month comparison or let's say this month and last month, so over here actually got 2 formats. You see the date, the balance sheet here is very weird. My asset only negative 290. It's very funny. Okay, but right, my asset I never sell it, but only this amount. Okay, so and also this month comparison also. If you put 3 months, you will see very funny one. So January is good. January got 8,000 suddenly. No more asset. Cash and bank suddenly missing. From 9,000 suddenly becomes 0. Okay. This is because we got 2 formats. Another format is the old calculation format. This old calculation format will show in this way. Okay. Show in the final figure of a particular month. But this one sometimes be very hard to see the change. Means sometimes 5 and 2 is almost same. And then 6 and 5 is very hard to detect which one got changed for January to February. If you untick this, we will apply the new format. The new format will very straightforward. We see only this fixed asset got some change. You want to see the detail, you put the 3 level, and this 290 is come from this 3 accumulated depreciation. So no right or wrong. So depends on which format you prefer most. So remember here got option, use old calculation and the new one. That's all. I think we move forward to the next section. Before we finish chapter 1, let us do the backup first. So in tutorial requirement, so we have to perform the backup performance in AutoCount before we log out. Backup very easy. You go to Tools, Backup. So over here actually already preset the company name, the header, and then the backup database version, okay, version and database backup date and time. So all the detail is being shown here. Usually we won't simply change it, so we just update the backup location. So for backup location over here, it's called tree company lah. So if let's say you got 3 different company, you want to backup into 3 folders, then you can set this company under 1, second company under 2, third company under 3. So if you want to backup into multiple location, actually you just browse here and then you add another location. That's all. Very convenient. In AutoCount, you just like this. The system will help you to backup into 2 different locations. You just press the backup button. Instead of you to third location, you just add another third location. You can add unlimited, add how many locations you want. And delete function actually is a remove. If let's say just now you don't want 2 locations, you just want 1 location, then you just update 1 only. And update actually is edit lah. So you can edit different location over here. So edit, delete, and then OK is finalized. So that's all. And you see got check database area here. So before you backup every time, we will help you to checking up whether got problem or not on your database. So if got problem, then we will show notification. Or if not, then after you backup also cannot use the database. Backup very simple. After setting every, just press the button over here. The system will help you to do the backup. And then you see this message, backup complete successfully. But for tutorial, insist to change the backup file name. So to backup task 1.11. So we just follow it. In fact, for your company, I don't think you need to change the file names because the file name already access all the information, the date, the time, the company name, database version, and so on. After change, we press this button again, and the system will help you to backup. Okay. I think that's all only for chapter 1. Then we moving forward to chapter 2.